We are the restaurant brokers, and we sell restaurants.
We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm over a decade ago.
Atlanta, Georgia was our starting point, but our brand is spreading nationwide. We define restaurant brokerage and help buyers just like these.
Our dream, our goal, open up a restaurant, loving life, serving people breakfast and lunch, and then enjoying the rest of the day with them and ourselves.
Buying an existing restaurant, leasing a closed restaurant space, or purchasing a restaurant franchise. We help buyers satisfy their appetite for acquisition.
I'm part of a husband and wife team with this fella.
Working with my wife has been a lot of fun. The ultimate goal for everybody here is to make this work. And because we have different strengths, we bring different angles to the deal.
The process begins with our powerhouse website, WeSellRestaurants.com, where buyers sign online confidentiality agreements and browse restaurants for sale.
Then we send buyers undercover to check out a restaurant and decide if it's the right one for them.
Buyers get our proprietary business analysis tool with all the financial details on the business for sale.
After studying the restaurant inside and out, it's back to our office.
We are deal makers. We write contracts and negotiate terms for buyers and sellers. That's why we sell more restaurants than any other firm in the nation. We are the restaurant brokers. Our name says it all. That sound means you're back on the air with the restaurant brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon, and we have just had a great show. We have been talking with the contestants from Hell's Kitchen from past and current seasons, and you can't get any closer to the reality of the world than reality TV, and now it's our favorite part of the show. We take what you have learned and show you how to put it to use. This is where we'll give you the inside scoop and unbridled truth about the restaurant industry. You know, Eric, a few years ago, we wouldn't have even been interviewing contestants like this, but it seems as though America just can't get enough of these cooking shows.
People love food, and they want to know that these chefs are humans, and they're seeing the other side of it by just looking at, there's so many shows, between the Cooking Channel, the Food Network, Fox here with Hell's Kitchen, the contestants we have today, and people love it. And it's interesting because, we all cook at home, whether it's, you make a bad sandwich or, you burn a steak or, you overcook pasta. And the fact that you watch that sometimes make you realize that, even these guys are super highly trained and super duper machines, cyborgs of cooking, are also making mistakes, and they have dishes that are not coming out well.
But the other thing that strikes me about this is they talked about how their careers really took off or have been enhanced by this stint on reality TV. And in some ways, it's almost like it's not just enough anymore to have your knives and have your culinary degree and have your place in the kitchen. You've also got to carve out your place in the world and gun for one of these reality shows, because it is life-changing for a chef.
You're right. It is definitely life-changing, and it's a great way to put yourself out there and to show the world what you can do. And now there's an audience and a stage for it. Before, it was only music and arts and different things, and now food has become an entertainment form that is, people will pay money. We remember we had in the past Alton Brown, on the show, and Alton has his own kind of variety show that's about food. An entire show for 2.5 hours about food. This has come a long way, and the opportunities are great, and you can almost not afford to do, if you're a chef or you have a restaurant, to promote yourself in the stadium and throw your hat in the ring.
Yeah, and I think your chef's hat, that is. And the thing is, but the reality is that you almost have to think about yourself now as you're coming through school. You're not going to go out and just be a chef. You got to figure out how to develop yourself into a brand, because we're talking about local chefs that now have PR agencies. And so they got the back of the house down. They might have even learned the front of the house. They've got the pressure of the service, the design of the menu, getting farm to table. The pressure is immense. And then try to figure out how you're going to be a brand as well as that.
And one of the biggest thing that the contestants talked about today, and they were unanimous on one thing, which was rare because they really had a difference of opinion. They were quite a cast today, is you got to know how to cook. They even said on the show some people don't know how to cook. So if you have a restaurant and you're looking to hire a chef or something, you want to make sure that they are very, very good cook. We have taken, I think some of the chefs 15, 20 years ago were very good, but this whole show business of food cooking has pushed people way above that limit, and now you have to be a super, super good about everything that you can do in order to run a kitchen.
Yeah. And then, by the way, you've got that whole balancing act of how do you hire people? How do you train people? How do you manage food costs? How do you handle labor costs? And P.S., how do you take 8.5 weeks off and go shoot a reality TV show? That's investing in your future, but you might need that put food on the table. You might need that time to actually feed your family and eat. And so you're taking a big risk, but the risk appears to pay off in the long run.
And we talk about in our show, Unbridled Truth. We said that in the opening segment about this. And I think we heard that today. Communication in the kitchen is something very important that, if you have a restaurant or you're a chef, you might want to start having that. We heard Robin today talking about, hey, I don't use ticket in my truck. I mean, they shout out orders, they talk to each other, and they said if the kitchen is quiet, I think something is going wrong, which is very interesting. So that's something you may want to take a look at your restaurants. And if your kitchen's ultimately very quiet, you may have to go back there if you're the owner and say, what's going on, guys? What do we have? And start implementing and learning from some of this excellence in reality.
I tell you one thing, I don't think you're going to get cast on Hell's Kitchen if you're quiet in the kitchen. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think you have to have a loud voice, and you would need to make noise, and you have to have a personality, and you have to be willing. I think some of them are, been willing to confront the great Gordon Ramsay, which probably looking back wasn't a great idea. I don't know many contestants that went very far after they disagree with Chef Ramsay. But
the thing is that the thing that I really took away from this is each one of these contestants, they do have a personality that's bigger than life, but that passion, you see that in the industry because chefs have that. They pour it into their food, and it's apparent in the plate, just the way the fear can be apparent in the plate. And it also just transcribes itself perfectly onto the big screen. It creates this made-for-TV drama.
Yeah, and great learning opportunities. Some of these chefs are probably somebody that, some younger chef or people that are working in kitchen on the way to their training, whether it's on-the-job training or about to go to college for culinary skills. Working with these people, maybe it is going to be hard. Maybe you're going to get yelled at. Maybe it's going to be brutal. But that's part of a good learning curve that is going to make you better. This is an industry where it's very transparent. I mean, this is not the corporate America where you have a lot of human resources and all kinds of documentation. It's on the job. It's live. Customers are waiting for their food, so the brutal truth comes out, and I think it's for the betterment of the experience for the guests, for the restaurant owner, as well as for the kitchen staff.
I totally agree. And you know what? For those of you who are out there ready to take your swing at getting on reality TV, as well as getting into the restaurant business as restaurant brokers, we've got a few listings to talk about, right, Eric?
That's right. I mean, we have some interesting things for you to do. We have a very interesting, it's a tavern, it's a grill, it's a bit of a sports bar. It's also got a live music area. Talk about a stage. There's a huge 7,000 square foot space. This is in the state of Georgia, and this place has been in business for many, many years, doing over $1 million in sales. Very multifaceted place here, and they have really good food. They actually have a chef. Even if we say tavern, we say sports bar, they do have a chef-driven, atmosphere over there. The place is making money. It's making over almost $240,000 in profit on the books, which you had really good tax returns and everything. And you can buy this business for probably right around $399,000 asking.
Okay, so then you get your start. That's obviously a big space to run. You got to manage the back of the house, front of the house, and get your skills up, and then go forward for Hell's Kitchen.
That's right. It's a great range of training over there. You got anything from fish tacos to filet mignon, so you got it all.
Okay. Another option that we have for you, if you're in the market for a franchise, we have a legacy family-friendly franchise brand that's on the market in Tennessee. This is a brand new listing. Sales of over $1 million, and this is a brand that has hundreds of units in more than 16 states and a reputation that has been in the business for more than 60 years. Now, people love these legacy franchise brands that have been around, since the 50s, really when franchising started, because those are the ones that give you kind of that warm, family-friendly feeling. You're going to pull off the interstate and go and have the breakfast buffet or, the meat and three for lunch and as well as stay current with today. So this particular one is in Smyrna, Tennessee, and it's on the market for $275,000, grossing over $1 million in sales.
That's great. Is it a freestanding building? I believe that is it freestanding?
It is a freestanding building, and that's one great thing about some of the legacy franchise brands is when you get those brands and pick up something that has been established for a long period of time, they often will have really fabulous ground leases that are under market for the current environment. So that's actually really, really good.
And we have tons of more listings. If you go to WeSellRestaurants.com, you can register on the website for free. You can sign confidentiality agreement electronically. You'll get name, address, and more pictures of any listings 24/7.
As well as we will MapQuest it for you. If there's video available, we make that available as well. Our powerhouse website, WeSellRestaurants.com, really is the go-to place in the industry when you are looking for restaurants for sale, franchise restaurant resales, or restaurants for lease. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon. We're the Restaurant Brokers. We'll return next week, same time on this station.